I want to commend you gentlemen for standing up today and proposing that big body dialogue, elder funnel. I don't think you need to stop there. He's not chairman, go there, he's on a spending spree hitting up. Bali aspiri aline. Head Start, alagul, pasmi view. While there are success, no albesholi, Baha Savi. Instead, you could maybe you need to set that up into a special fund too. Everything else, because what little he gets, he spends it on his own. And Savi, that's not right. Alagul, Mahawasho, Bagade, is Ashagaza Bona, Qua, Ajay, Giza, Ulaji, that's not right, it's a health issue. And because it's so, Sagir. It needs to be patrolled some way because Wyoming, Duke Wyoming, Omaha, last year, began Newton's truckload, Cody, every other week. From Malaysia, last year, from Squabula, Bill Malaysia, him and Dewey Book here. And that's not right. They need to do something. Now, Head Start, now, when I was working on the Cheyenne Reservation, by God, they watch me move. You know that teachers going to church, we can't run the buses, but that's the only meal they get. He's dead, when they get a little tired. But they want to treat it just like that. So we need to set something up so that we protect our kids, our elders. Chairman sure as hell isn't doing that. Bajagi Tele. I commend you gentlemen for sticking up to your grounds. Now, that's from day one, Brandon, budget group, he stood his ground. I want to thank you for that, Brandon. But they want to charge you either. Hey, go on and see. He's Amadi, there's some Egypt cookie. And they're again the chairman, so being boundary that he's not listening to anybody. Thank you.
Larry.
I won't take long. When we left with Chairman Okayo, that was it. When was that? December 2nd? The audit for fiscal year 2015 was completed and submitted. And after we left, there was 3 months. After the fiscal year ends on September 30th, the accountants have 3 months to December to submit their reports to the federal funding agencies, and that's in the form of that SF 425 Garigo. That's a very important report. And I don't think since we left, none of it was ever submitted. And to this day, I don't think the administration is even accountable to submitting those audits. You need to have an audit, especially when we left. A new circular came out, and it was the OMB Super Circular book. If you remember that, I went to training for that just so I can do my job. I don't even know when the last audit was submitted. As the 700,000 for Head Start that year, did you already pass that? I don't know. But Head Start has always been a reimbursable. The money was never advanced. Kutaja, that, AML, and Marvin, I think CCR, they were all reimbursables. And that never changed. So I don't know why, if they had spent the money properly, they shouldn't have a problem with any reimbursements. And that came from another funding agency. BIA programs, but it's another system that you work with ASAP. every contract, every federal contract already has a budget. It's not approved if there's no budget. It already has a listing of positions, a listing of their overhead. And why they couldn't comply with those, I don't understand. Why there's so many non-compliances. Who is the CPA? But I don't know. Do any of you know? I don't. We would like to know. We want that person to be accountable to us. Right? Who is it?
Dennis Adams with Joseph Eve in Woodley.
That Joseph Eves was an auditor when we were there. When did he become a CPA? I think that's conflict of interest, maybe. I don't know. You have legal here. He can answer to that, but I would think that would be a conflict of interest. And in that super circular, it mentions that conflict of interest in there. It was a new addition to the previous circulars. So I think that's, if he's earning that much money, he should be here to answer to our questions. I don't know who this Friedman is, or this lady named Wallaby, but I was told that they have credit cards, tribal credit cards, and they max it every month, and they're the only ones that have it. I was told by one executive official that they took his away and he never got it back. But those two, they're very privileged, whoever they are. I think they should be here to answer to our questions too. I don't know what they do. This Friedman is supposed to be a lawyer that wrote the contract for the AI. What was it, the AIC? That was a bunch of bullshit too, right? Big boss, I read. If I don't know something, I want to know it. Daylight, the 1.8 million from Cloud Peak, was it trust monies, or was it money that went directly to the Crow tribe? Why? Look, we want to know. Because most of these coal contracts are trust monies. They go directly to the BIA. But we don't know. And I think we have a right to know. Dela. Yes. I was writing these down as I was going along. The 107, it was passed in 1994. It was a settlement agreement, and it was approved back in 1994. And it was signed, the agreement was signed by Madam Chairman, Paranomish, Kotaregon signed, agreement. In there is where the elder payments are supposed to get their elder payments, the 107 committee. Anyway, there's a few other items. After that was passed in 1994, the first payment went to the Crow tribe in 1996, the fiscal year. Every fiscal year after that, that money is available to be transferred. It's already guaranteed. And all the tribe needs is a budget, a plan and a budget. And that money is always available at the beginning of the fiscal year. Sabi, we're almost to the end of October. Why that money isn't paid to us? It's poor management, no accountability. Why can't we impeach her? You know? That's what I want. Malaysia, we can't stay back and be silent anymore. Something has to be done. Hilagi Marlene Shave, he can't be. I remember one time, but it was under the old constitution. We impeached the chairman, remember? For not showing up for council. That was it. Gosh, all the mismanagement. We need to start something. The FMA, you know, is a start. We need to do more. We need him here to answer to us. Alaga. Khawik, Amanedia. He's only been in there how long? Too long. It's about time we stop it. We survive on our fixed income. Most of us. We have Social Security. Some of us are receiving retirement. We're our kids and our grandkids, bankers, because there's no unemployment out there. There's nothing. No unemployment. Bahamik. There's nothing. And we need to either suspend or impeach would be better. Whatever it takes, I think we need to do, do something.
Frank, your comment on...
Hi, can I say one more thing and then I'll quit? Early after AJ got in, I personally kind of gave him 1 year. I'm surprised he lasted this long, because when we were there, he didn't like us in finance. He didn't like any of us. And I know if we stayed, I knew he would have fired us. And I didn't want that on my record. When we heard of Miriam Smith being there, not being accountable to our money, whoever Miriam Smith is, I would like to meet her. I never saw her. I've never met her. I think she has a lot to do with this mismanagement. Do you post that Miriam Smith? But not too long after that was when we started a petition to remove AJ. But some people were reluctant. They were scared because they thought that had that small hope of being hired, maybe. But we got over, 1,500? We got over 1,500 signatures that time. But it wasn't enough because somebody in the secretary's office gave us a calculated number of about, 2,300 signatures? I don't know how we got that. But we started that. And we got a lot of signatures that time. And some people that weren't afraid to show their faces came and signed, and we really pursued it. But it didn't fall through. We tried. Now it's up to you to try all you legislatures, that's why you're here. You need to be accountable to us now.
Frank, you want to explain that 107 graph that we handed out?
Alright, I hope Clarice. On this graph I gave you guys, if you guys need copies, you can come and get it. We have copies available for you. And, just in that particular, with the percentages and everything in there, 107 generates a lot of money. It does. It generates, at its highest time, we went back a couple of years, 2006, it generated $4.8 million. And today, because of interest rates and then dropping of the interest rates is around 2%, at that time it was like a 6, 7, 8. Because of the housing market crash, it's invested, we're accruing the interest. That was the final stipulation on there, where that 85 million, we can only use the interest, and it's a lot, 2.5, but every year, what we get in there is about 700,000 out of that 2.5. 700,000 from that, because we have notes on it. We got loans. How many years back we're still paying on those loans? 96. Right now, with I'll let Thor explain those notes that are available on that, and how much we're paying on those a year for our program debt. Go ahead, Thor.
Thank you, Senator. We have 8 debt instruments out against the tribe. 8 debt instruments. And that's what's eating up your budget. I don't remember the exact amount of debt service, but it's millions. We can get the number for you. And you have 3 instruments that are at First Interstate. You have 2 instruments that are with the USDA. They're very low. Those are not really an issue. You have an instrument from Shakopee Nation against your casino, which hasn't been open for months and months, so that's probably a default. And you have a really, really large bond issuance from 1997, and you're paying a lot of money for that. So you have all these notes out there that we are looking at, and we are gathering all the paper. We had to go everywhere to gather all the instruments, and we're looking at some way to bring that debt service down to something reasonable through whatever means, forgiveness, consolidation, whatever we can do. We're trying to find a way to bring that debt down, because you're paying millions and millions. So all your funds from the 107th and the LBV, they're already earmarked, because previous administrations and such have taken those funds and just said, oh, we'll put it against a note. And that's the collateral. So the OST is taking money out of your fund and paying directly to the banks. You're not even seeing it. It doesn't even go through your general fund. And that's just money that's not working for you. That's your money, it's not working for you. So my bosses are working very, very hard to try to get that debt service down to something where we can at least get our arms around it, and so we can have a budget going forward. And there's details that are tedious in this stuff, but they're very necessary. We're just trying to figure out how to fix that so that the tribe can be properly footed going forward.
And with that, out of that is around 1.7 is what we're paying in debt on this, the notes that are tied to the 107. And right now, in here, the body, we're looking at other avenues that we can do to consolidate. Those interest rates are, right now at Shakopee, we're at 8% because we're in 8.5% on that loan, because we're probably default. We haven't been paid for 6 months, 8 months, 9, 8. And, that interest rate climbs. These other ones that we're paying on, that, it's eating up $2-3 million, around there. So that $3 million, what we're trying to do is, and the terms are long, the interest rate's long, we're paying a lot more for $19 million in debt. We're probably paying a lot more. So, and that's where our 107 is going. So what we're doing in here is to try to package it up, get a small interest rate on it, And that way we're taking our terms way down, taking everything way down, and we're gonna try to free up, not just monies, but just free up the 107 so it can be used where it's supposed to be. That 2.5 a year, that's a lot of money. That's can cover about 80% of the elder fund for the year. And that could be set aside in that separate trust to be paid for that. But because of, before those notes, 96, 97, all these different notes that are tied to these is why we don't have that. We're only, the amount that's left over is about 600,000, 700,000 per year. And, that's just what it is. And that's what we have to do to, we're going and finding ways and sending it over there and trying to, go through that. This FMA, we're talking about the FMA, they've seen it. We showed them a draft, whether it's by, if we have to do it by CLB, we said we would, but we need something to be accountable. That's not just one branch, that's not just two branches. All branches need to be accountable. Everybody has to be at the same page. We don't get money it's delegated to us. We don't get a whole budget all at once. We never have. And there's no true separation because at the end of the day, we're still over there getting a check from them. And the first budget, we were all in one. We were treated like a department. We're not a department. They didn't hire me. You guys did. And that's why one of the reasons we didn't want to do that was because we're not a department. We're a branch. We have our own authorities and powers associated with that given to us by the Constitution. So with that, we send it back. That was one of the reasons. You have all the reasons for this budget here. Why we want more answers for you guys, because it would be negligent and it would be just bad decisions if we just pass it on what they have, because you don't really know that IDC rate. We don't know where all this money went. We didn't spend this money. You guys didn't spend this money. So why should we be paying on stuff that we never spent? Why should we go until we find out in the details? None of us have credit cards here. We never have. We're going through. That's the delegations that we want. We want these things associated with us, so that way we can provide to you those information. You have questions. Districts have questions, and that's why we have district meetings. We go through, but before we, with our district, we didn't want to present a crap budget. That's just negligent. So we wanted to have our budget associated, everything there, all the numbers right. And, like Clarice, Loretta, you guys know me, I'm numbers, paper, black and white. I don't believe in people until they can tell me all they want, but until I see it on paper coming from the right authorities, we don't believe it. So with that is why we didn't have a budget, because we can throw it in there and say, okay, the elders are getting this much, but actually getting to it, there's nothing in there. They can move it around. Last year, we had 3 million in there, we had 2.1 here, but what we actually got was way, way less. So, everything, and they're saying legislatures aren't approving the budget. Well, where's all these monies that belong to the Crow tribe, the Crow people? Where's this 500K in trust responsibility, trust assets, land? That's the same as Buffalo. They're all in the same group. They're not a fishing game. They're a trust asset. Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? And for us to just pass it would be negligent and irresponsible as to your guys' trust assets. So with that, that's why I said, we said, bring us something good, bring us something right. The body said that they wouldn't stand for it. In previous years, we'd have a breakdown of every line item, everything that would go through, where it was going, what it was spent for, who was hired on it, all of the above. We haven't got that on this budget. 53 programs across the tribe. They all had 12,272 in there. No narratives. Just across all of them, some of them non-existent. Credit, home services, all these different stuff. And it was just, everybody that does Excel knows you can just drag that across and it'll copy across 53 cells. And that's what it was, across 53 different. And that's not doing your job. That's their job, to bring a budget that's proper, that's balanced, and they never did. That first budget was, and these people wouldn't stand for it, because if we brought it to you, you guys would cuss us out. They'd say, what is this? This is junk. And that's where it was at. So these are the questions you guys have, and I hope I answered them. And the body here, we're open. You're more than welcome to come in here. You have questions, I'm always outside. And all the senators are the same way. It's not just our districts, but we're here for the Pro people. And by going through this, it would be negligent for us to do this. We want answers, and we want to be able to give you guys answers on where this went. And it's always open. We're always here, and we're in the same boat. We're not getting paid either. But like Pat said, we never went on travel for 2 years, 3 years. We haven't had that. They don't pay for our gas coming in. The ones coming from Wyola, long ways, that's out of theirs. They come in every day on that. So, we're always here. The ones that aren't here right now are at a meeting with DEMD over at Westmoreland. We had another meeting with them over our Westmoreland payments, where it's supposed to be 2.5. As you know, they went into bankruptcy, and they're going through there. And for them to tell me, oh, it's okay, we're gonna get you guys paid. Until I seen it on paper, I don't believe it. So with the body, we asked our legal to check into that and call that firm handling that. Number one on the chopping block was Protract. And we went through there, we sent it, called executive. No, they said it was okay. I said, no, it's not. It's on here. You're number one on there. It's paid to the U.S. government. So we called BIA, said, get on your job. Send a lawyer over there and tell them that you pay us first. I said, yeah, they'll wash away $2.5 million. They want to pay that less at the last end of the deal. But we were number one on there, and we went through. We're going through that banco, and we told BIA, do your trust responsibility, do your job for us, and go over there and get our money. But at the same time, we had to find that out for them. We had to go through. So we're doing our job for you guys. So if I haven't answered your questions, just ask me anytime. I'm always around. Senators are here. And that's one of the reasons we're not going through with this budget. CPAs haven't been here. Chairman hasn't been here. We only had him here once. The 29th, the very day of the ending. And he didn't bring a CPA that time. And Senator Grovon, Senator Goodluck, a lot of the other ones in here, they said we need the CPA here. And, that's what it's always been. We have always had the CPA here. We've always had the lawyers here, and that was a process. We never got that process, so that's where we're at. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we've, like I said, they're bringing lunch. We'll take a couple more comments and questions. Then they're going to bring lunch for you guys, so that way I know someone probably haven't had breakfast, getting hungry. So let's take a couple more questions, and we'll get some lunch here. I know someone's got to get to Billings for another meeting also. So.
Trashก็ได้พร้อมคนก็สาจะซาบิลันเกี่ยวก็ได้มีแบบสาวสาวเอาไปถักก็ดูดิชิเกี่ยวในไว้ชิเกี่ยวมาอีกชิเกี่ยวถ้าก็มาว่าเกี่ยวกับนี้ดีสตาร์ทสันนิษฐานว่าก็ได้ announce ก็ได้But James start carrying a hula, be stick, a Nepal fever, tox, smoke for that party, and you want to bow, the congregation that you want in, now give you what you want. The party, you want all of it, so very, it's all of it. In landfill, what it needs, she could get Pogon, some Podura, a little
Maybe I'll try to hit a little bit on some of the trash issues. But Tom, I know you've been really active on that with the trash issues with Lodge Grants. But currently under his proposal, there was nothing to address trash. That's why the branch kind of brought the issue up too. Is hey, there's within this budget, there's what are you going to do about the trash issue? We got like for Big Crow, Lodge Grants. they set them on fire, and even every time they set those dumpsters on fire, it's $1,000 charge again to the tribe. So I think people are just getting tired of seeing it piling up, so they do eventually light it on fire. I know was kaya housing koloma that smoke, that toxic smoke that sets in that whole housings, and that's not good. So that's why we're trying to address this in this budget, where we can fund with some money so they can do something. And landfill, I kind of try to stay away from executives, authorities on negotiating stuff like that. What I know we can do is try to find some money to address that issue, and that's what we're trying to do within this budget, is find some money or allocate some money to the trash problem. Tom, you want to comment a little bit on the trash issue also, because I know you're active on that, and I believe Senator Gillick is also.
The trash is, like you say, it's bad. My aunt in Wyola lives 200 yards from the trash dumpsters. When they buy it, they burn it. The smoke goes right to her house, and it's what it is. But with the chairman, I've been trying to get him to do something about it, and he's just. It seems like his interest is elsewhere. We put money into when we did the LDD money for Head Start and bullets and stuff. We put money into that too, but I don't think any of that got utilized. I think it got sucked into the general fund.
Well,
And then I know the
landfill, I don't think you'll be paying anybody else.
one of the things about landfill though, nowadays EPA and all the environmental protection stuff has to be followed. And if we do that, that's going to be like several millions of dollars that we'll have to put into that, and that'll be like depending on each community or however we do that, because you have to have water quality assessments and everything done before and during, and then have to line them, and it's just there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. We have to have special equipment to work it, just like the ones that's in Hardin uses. And so that's an option though. We've talked about it, trying to do it kind of same thing with the Cheyennes, but over on that side of the reservation, so it's kind of out of our way. But it's just that's one of the options. Also, we've looked into getting our own trucks so that we can go around and do our own trash instead of paying Republic. Because Republic, the contract with Republic was up 3 weeks ago, and they just renegotiated a thing with them again. But I'm not sure exactly. There's like I just found out that Friars and Fort Smith, I think they're on private property, and so that's a negotiation that they did with the landowners, and so those aren't even the tribal ones. But and then the county has some stuff going on too. So the one in Lodge Grass, that's I've been trying to push that to get us on. We have a facility there, but it belongs to the county. The tribe owes the county like almost 800,000, 700 and some thousand. And the Lodge Grass City is trying to buy that facility so that we can, the Lodge Grass District will be able to utilize it. And then anybody else that they're going to do a pay thing, so that you pay, so anybody can use it, but still they'll have to, so that it pays for itself. The city isn't going to make any money off of it after we gone through the numbers on it, the people that are there, and the amount and stuff. The city's not really going to make any money, but it's going to pay for itself, and that's what we want. We're not really looking at it to make money off of it. But, and then we also talked about doing some recycling stuff. But the lawyer, we talked to the lawyer, and there's a lot of issues about that too. Who we get to sell our recycled stuff to, how we can process it, and we know there's jobs there, but it's just the fact that trying to sell what we recycle is going to, there's a lot of people like, I think China used to buy a lot of our United States' plastics, and they're not doing that anymore. And that was one of the major places where they were sending it to. It's just like kind of like coal, or we're trying to sell coal to now too. But so our trash issue, we're looking into it, but it's without AJ and our working on our budget, putting money towards the budget in our trash. That's kind of where we're sitting right now.
And AJ, couldn't you suspend him? Say maybe he's incompetent, he's not doing his job, when they impeached a chairman, I think they wrote it so that a chairman can never be impeached again, but you can amend that.
Well, that takes what they were talking about, the numbers that you were talking about, yeah. I think the voting population of, what it is, 8,000 something, the percentage of that, they got that set real high, so it's like 23% or
I think we
2,300
can
votes.
get signatures,
And
because
so,
like Clary said, when they got signatures and all of that, really, we made an
yeah.
effort.
And the easiest way is we'll talk to the other officials. If those 3 officials would push it, it would happen.
In the first place, when they first voted him in, he didn't speak a word of pro. That was a time to get him down. We let him vote for it. I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to make it short, I think. No. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I believe we have one more, then we'll get some lunch. We had one more hand, I believe it was it. One more question, then we'll get some lunch here. Then we'll. Hey, Tom, Senator Yellowtail serves as our Health and Human Service Chairman. So if you guys got any Health and Human concerns, issues, he's the man to talk to. Senator Yellowtail here.
Thank you. Are you the Speaker of the House? This is a home, inviting the elders over. We, the elders, could get a bill out here to suspend the chairman if you want us to. Or I would like to see what all you senators are going to do on this chairman. Because when you tell him, he will go and make his own mind up and he won't listen to you guys. And I'm wondering, how long are you going to allow him to do this to you guys?
Commenting a little, I want to comment a little bit on the removal process in the Constitution, if I'm correct, legal. Some of them that went through the removal process. There's 2 ways to remove, correct?
Yes.
And once the 2001 Constitution was written, that I believe I wasn't here when they wrote that, but they made it so hard. That was the kind of the point they did in that Constitution was on removal. That way, no one can just get removed after chairman. So I believe there's 2 ways to removal process, and I believe Clarice got the petition process, and the other way is the majority of the other elected executive officials, so your secretary, vice secretary, and vice chairman all have to agree. That's another way. And as far as the legislative, here, I'll give it to Thor and comment a little bit on that also.
Thanks, boss. So your constitution makes it very hard, unlike any other constitution I've ever seen, to remove your executive, your chairman. So it is, as Speaker said, those are the ways. You do have an initiative process here. An initiative process can't remove anybody, but it certainly could be creatively written to restrict somebody. I'll just say it that way. But other than that, there are just the 2 methods here. And in the one method requires one of the 6 criteria, including being convicted of a crime. One of the problems you have is your current FMA doesn't have any crimes in it. So you can have fiscal mismanagement, but so what? So the new bill that is being proposed and being brought forward by your body here, in conjunction with the executive, will have at least 6 crimes, if I remember right. We were just talking about this. It might have 7 in it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it'll actually have crimes in it, so that for fiscal mismanagement, you can be convicted of something, which you can't now, which is a little weird. So we're trying to fix that. That's where we are right now.
Okay, thank you. As far as I know, you could get 2 signatures from the executive branch to sign off and have him suspended. It doesn't have to be all 3 of them. It could be 2. And they could suspend him just by signing off on a letter. And if you go back into the Constitution and read it, it tells you right there how to do it. But anyways, just stay at home and Speaker of the House. Thank you.
Okay, Hank, we'll conclude that, and maybe after the meeting, you can get with our legal, and they can answer more to that question on that issue. Thank you for the question. Like I said, they brought lunch today, provided by Senator Hogan of Reno, and the branch also helped out. So, guys, all thank Senator Hogan for providing some lunch too. And I'll just say, Marvin, let's go down there. I'll just. This, as a whole, thank you for showing up today. The question is now is to get Glenn, you're free to ask the senators, your representatives, not staff, good to get legal later. So thank you for coming again. Hopefully we can make this annual every month.